Marcus Rashford is up for sale at Manchester United. Reports coming out of Germany today suggest Manchester United are looking to cash in on the academy graduate at the summer at the latest, and are not ruling out bids coming in for him in January. Is time running out at Manchester United for Marcus Rashford? Let's get right into it. So guys, reports coming out today from Germany, from Florian Plettenberg, are suggesting that Manchester United are willing to sell Marcus Rashford at the latest by the summer, and would already be open to offers in the winter, which is obviously the January transfer window. The club acknowledge his development under Ruben Amorim, but consider him definitely not unsellable. One reason why the sale is being discussed: if he were to leave the club due to his very high salary, it would free up critical points in the complicated financial fair play system, which in turn would give the Red Devils more room to manoeuvre in the transfer market. The 27-year-old is contracted until 2028. So a huge report coming out from Florian Plettenberg in Sky Germany. And look, he's been on the beat at Manchester United for a long time. He's got a number of things right over the last couple of years, and you know, he's led the way with a couple of big reports coming out in relation to Manchester United. And this one, well, it obviously remains to be seen whether it's going to be true or not. We've been speaking about Marcus Rashford an awful lot over the last couple of years, and the inconsistencies that everybody is seeing within his career. You know, not just, you know, within, I suppose, not game by game even, but season by season. His career has been massively inconsistent. And obviously we know a couple of seasons ago he had a very, very good season. The first year under Erik ten Hag, 30 goals in that season, and we were thinking, lovely, this is the Marcus Rashford we knew was there, and we knew the potential was there, and he's finally showing it. But he goes out last season, has an absolute stinker, and he's on 7 goals already this season. You know, not huge returns. And you know, again, we look at Manchester United being stuck in the bottom half of the table. The goal difference again this season is not great, and a lot of Manchester United fans were hanging their hats on Marcus Rashford being that player that goes on and scores consistently 20 plus goals, and it hasn't happened. It really hasn't happened. He's 27 years of age now. He's in his prime, and I think the main consideration here has to be, when do you cash in on Marcus Rashford? Are we potentially going to ever be able to get as much money for him in the future as we are this summer? And we were speaking about this on a number of different occasions over the last couple of years. I think Manchester United made a big mistake with Marcus Rashford the year before he scored his 30 goal a season, because he had 1 year left on his contract, or was it 2 years left on his contract, I think. And the old regime, the John Murtagh and the Richard Arnolds and so on and so forth, could have easily gone in there with 2 years left. He was coming off the back of an injury-plagued season, and we could have easily gone in, you know, and give him maybe 200 grand a week when he wasn't scoring that many goals. We didn't. We allow his contract to drag on a little bit. He then goes out and scores 30 goals. He's in a much stronger position to go and negotiate, and we know what happened after that. He's on 300 plus grand a week now on the back of scoring 30 goals in that great season, and he hasn't lived up to that expectation. And we've been overpaying for him, given what he's given back to us, it has to be said. I think going back to what we were saying, I don't think we'll ever be able to get as much money for Marcus Rashford as we are now, and maybe as we could have been last season or the season before. I don't see the consistency levels coming for him at this stage in his career. You know, he's coming into his prime now, you would say, and he's not hitting the heights that I suppose the majority of us know he should and can be hitting. Do I see him leaving in January? I don't think so. I don't see Marcus Rashford leaving in January, to be honest with you. I don't see us cashing in on him that soon. I think it would be too hard to replace him in the January transfer window. I think the summertime, I mean, I'm even seeing the summer. And the big question mark here is, we see it at the bottom of the report here. The 27-year-old is contracted until 2028. I mean, he's on 300 and plus grand a week. It's crazy money when you think about it. Is he going to want to leave that behind? He's not going to get that wherever he goes. No way, shape or form will he get 300 grand elsewhere. You know, he's got the option there to sit in, pick up his paycheck week on week, and say, no, I'm a Manchester United chap. I came up through the academy. I want to stay. I want to fight for my place. And I want to continue to pick up 300 grand a week. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. Now, I think this is going to be a real test to Ineos and the powers that be there. If it is the case that they want to move Marcus Rashford on, I think we're going to have to see some real good negotiating out of them. Because we've heard in the past, when the likes of Omar Barada has come in, he said you've got 2 seasons for any new players and players that are under the umbrella of Ineos. Now, you've got 2 seasons to prove yourself, and if you don't, then we're going to move you on. And Marcus Rashford hasn't proved himself in the first season, and he's not really reaching the levels we would hope he could reach in the second season. So, again, I think it's going to be difficult to move him on. If we're looking realistically about where Marcus Rashford could go, obviously Saudi Arabia could afford him. Of course they could. Are the likes of Real Madrid going to want him? I don't think so. They've got Mbappe there now, so on and so forth. I don't think he fits in there. I really don't. Are Barcelona going to be able to sign him? I don't think they could afford him, to be honest with you. We know PSG have been linked with him in the past, but they seemed to distance themselves a little bit from him in the summer. Whoever buys him is going to have to give him a minimum of 250 grand a week. And given the fact that he's got 4 years left on his deal, it'll be 3 years by the time the summer rolls around. You're going to have to pay 60, 70 million minimum for him. I think it's going to be very hard to move him on. I think it's probably best that we move him on, to be honest with you. Now, again, like I said, I don't think there's going to be too much movement in the summer or in January. So obviously I'm going to get behind him and back him and support him between now and the end of the season. And if he maybe goes on a run and does really well for the remainder of the season, things may change. But I think subsequently we've seen enough over his career in terms of inconsistencies and in terms of, maybe interest. He doesn't seem interested an awful lot at Manchester United. His body language is poor. His head is down. He's not running enough. And, we've seen with Amram come in, all right, there's going to be an uptake. And we've seen that before with players. It's going to take an awful lot between now and the end of the season for the majority of United fans to change their mind on Marcus Rashford. I think the majority of fans have maybe lost a bit of patience with him, and it's a shame given the fact that he's an academy graduate. And I've said it on multiple occasions that I want nothing more than him to be the person that's leading the line for Manchester United and scoring all the goals and being our, number one player. He's not doing it though. He's not doing it. With these reports coming out, it's looking more and more likely that Marcus Rashford will be looked to be moved on. Whether he does move on or not, that remains to be seen. But I think if these reports continue to come out between now and the summer, I think it's quite clear that Ineos and maybe Ruben Amram and the powers that be do want to move him on. However, if he stays, we know he'll be staying on his terms because, again, like we said, he's not going to get 300 plus grand anywhere else in the world. Maybe Saudi Arabia. I don't think he'll want to move to Saudi Arabia. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Obviously, a lot of people are saying it's time to move him on. Do you agree with that? Do you think we should be giving him time between now and the end of the season to try and prove himself under Ruben Amram? I think that's probably the fairest thing to do. But let me know what you think. Do you think he'll leave in January? Do you think he'll leave in the summer? Or should he be given more time? Please do smash a like in the video, guys. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you on the next one.